Hey guys, Tsuyoshi here. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to show you Luiz Panza's Footlock. I'm just wondering that Luiz Panza might be one of the first persons using Footlock very efficiently in modern technique and modern style. As long as it sees matches, there's been so many curious ideas I found. So in this video, I'm going to break them down how he plays Footlock game. Let's get started. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Alright, let's start with the entry. As long as his matches, he loves to play close guard. The time he plays on bottom, he's really likes to get into the close guard like this. Then, it's like wants to make collar grip, it doesn't work. In that case, he wants to make the cross sleeve grip with using his left hand like this. This kind of position. Then literally with the free hand, he starts grabbing the leg, then open it like this. Cross sleeve grip guard like this. This is a very efficient position for submission or some leg entanglement. So that's why he loves to play. Then, if he can completely pull it off, probably a lot of things he can do, but most of the time, his opponent wants to push up like this. So this is the time. There's been free access on a person's legs. Then from this position, you can expect two cases. If you can completely push your partners away like this, it's gonna be Footlock straight away. But most of the time, your partner wants to like push up more, like cutting sleeve grip. That case, K-guard, like this. As you can see that, I start using my right shin, near side shin, along his inner thigh and hip bone like this. This is the frame that allows me to keep his hips away. As long as I keep this one, he cannot come back to the side. That's why I want you to keep in mind that if you play K-guard, you have to use your shin instead of keep your leg free like this. This one. Then after that, it's gonna be really easy to isolate a partner's leg from this position. It's like pull it off like this. As you can see that, I'm just making literally K-guard from here. Then, what Panza likes to do is get into a 50-50 guard. That's why from this position, he started with inversion like this. Once he gets inversion, there's been several options I find it. What he likes to do is like roll into this position from K-guard to get this leg in like this. By the time I do the action, there's been a momentum that Panza can put an opponent to the other side like this. This is right after fall on the mat. As you can see that, this may be really similar to the Ashigami position or heel hook entry. So in the forearm movement, with breaking a person's upper leg or posture, Panza wants to start holding the leg and pass leg to the outside. Now, it's 50-50 position. Then when he plays 50-50 guard, like Luiz Panza, he really likes to play on this side, as long as it matches. And then whenever he sets up, gets to 50-50 position, he starts holding the partner's leg to start Footlock position. As you can see that, this is a position, it's a great way to set up Footlock as well, just not only for the 50-50 lock entry. So just holding here. I'll show you later how to set up and finish Footlock. Let's just understand it with 50-50 position as well. If I don't do anything, probably Ed wants to put his left foot on the ground, shift the body weight forward, then standing up. Then just like a 50-50 happens like this, top and bottom. It's gonna be really complicated. That's why there's several things Luiz Panza wanted to manage to do. The first one is just like stay on this side. That's gonna be a great way to play his 50-50 position or like further actions to finish Footlock. Plus, he wants to use the other hand. I call it as a capable tool. He using many types of way to use the free arm. He just not only set up the Footlock, sometimes he even plays spider or like holding sleeve like this. This is a great way to control a partner's arm. As you can see that, as long as I control this one, I cannot control my legs. That means that's a lot of options to do like this. Some people like to play spider, but as long as it sees matches, Panza doesn't play that much fifth spider guard. It's more like keeping legs really tight, like this. Then from this position, Panza wants to set up the lock, Footlock. That's a very unique idea. So the current style, like a trend, Isaac Jordan, Mikey Musmeshi, they really like to make really tight lock, like using around armpit and torso, like right above a partner's heel, around here to make really tight lock. It's more like keeping it tight. Then make the frame shallow as much as possible, then they can finish Footlock like this. This is kind of trendy technique, trendy style recently. But on the other hand, Luiz Panza, how he plays is slightly different. Once he gets into the 50-50 like this, he wants to make the frame. Like I mentioned last one, Panza doesn't like to make it shallow or like a high frame. He doesn't do. It's more like he wants to make it shallow. In order to maximize the leverage and make a tight frame, he wants to use the wrist. This one, like under person's cuff like this. That's fine. This may be slightly different from the pure straight Footlock, but the form itself is a straight Footlock. That's why this is really efficient. Then, instead of grabbing really high, what Panza likes to do is grab it around here. That's also a great way to set up Footlock. It's like a rest task to set up quickly. Then he just uses his other hand to grab around here. Then, other option, he may also mention in Nogi, that's like using fast side hip like this. Yeah, that makes sense. Since he wants to make the really shallow lock around a person's cuff, he wants to keep the hand around the belly or fast side hips. Today, let's just go with this way. So once we set up, yeah, Panza already down to set up the frame on the person's legs. Then most of the time in 50-50, opponent wants to boot on. That's a major difference for the Footlock. That's why if we follow the current idea, the current trendy idea, when we make shallow lock, and can make it deeper, then we can no longer finish it. But on the other hand, what Panza likes is slightly opposite, like I showed you. Since he can make a really shallow one, it's not a big problem. Even though Ed has boot on to make it deeper, he still creates a task, as you can see that. Then probably now, Ed even feels a little pressure since I make it a little long. Is that right? Like this. So this is how he locks. Plus, this is a great way to set up as well. Although he makes figure four, like triangle lock in 50-50, Panza can do that. Like I explained the structure, it doesn't need to be shallow or making a high lock, shallow one and low part. That means Panza sometimes locks in, even though the opponent locks his leg. He just starts setting up like this. Then use that cut up. That's how he sets up. As you can see that this is way simpler than weird thinking. And then another idea. Most of people, when they do Footlock, we like to use the hook on the same side of the person's body like this, same side lock. This is an idea, like Mikey Musmeshi or Isaac, De La Riva Footlock. Or Kyle, he also same. They want to do on the same side like this. But Luiz Panza's side different. From 50-50, he can set it up. So this is the reason it's so efficient to do that. Right, now, let's try how he finishes. As you can see that, I'm on my side with making a frame like this. Before it goes, like I showed you, I use my feet. Even though Ed wants to come up, I block it like this. So this is a perfect case. Now, use the elbow on the side. As you can see that I use most of my body in order to make the frame and be ready for applying the pressure. Arm, I hold his leg. Then I use my inner thighs to pinch his knee, and feet, I control his upper body. Since I use my free arm on the ground, I'm in good balance, plus I'm available to do belly down from this position. So all I do is pretty simple. From this position, I do deadlift motion, like thrusting my hips forward, then I can apply the pressure. It's pretty simple, but efficient. The other options, sometimes Panza wants to be belly down as well. That's a little more brutal from here, pausing the hand, and then going this way like this. So as you can see that this is slightly different from the regular straight Footlock, but if you understand the structure, it's gonna be very strong. I want you to keep in mind that. And most of the time, he wants to start his game, the guard, from the close guard. But when the time he cannot go for it, he wants to set up a reverse De La Riva or literally get into K guard. Let's try this way. At some point, he starting with this position. In that case, he just wants to do a kiss of the dragon, grabbing the near side pad, like making an underhook, circling like this. Although he's in super heavy weight, since he's really flexible and has a mobility, he can play this type of position. Then the first one is like Ashigarami style. The far side, instead of making an inside frame, holding from outside. Like once it goes, Alex can go as well. Then once that happens, Panza managed to lift up the near side leg like this. This position. Then, as usual, we don't mind that much about lifting up a person's leg. But Panza, what he likes is lift this one up. As you can see, this is a great way to keep the position tight. As long as it lifts it up, and it cannot come back to the other side, the other leg is really heavy. That means Panza can easily get into the position like this. Then this is right after getting to it. As you can see there, ankle is completely exposed. One thing that I want you to be careful is this is saddle position. If you start making an under overhook from this position, this is a new leaping. That's why leg needs to be switched. So right this, 50-50. Then this is a great angle to sit up. Like I showed you, start making a shallow lock. Then this can be the perfect case. After the entry, opponent puts their butt on the ground like this, then making a frame like this. Before finishing, coming up on the side. If the opponent tries to come back to the side, using a hook like this to block. Then getting to the side, then deadlift motion, then finishing straight hook lock. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please just hit the like button, give us any comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Thank you. I'll you guys catch you next one. Bye.